Hello everyone. In today's learning, we'll be studying some of the few topics in the transmission line. I am Priyanka Nautiyal, currently working as an assistant professor in Department of Physics at Dolphin PG Institute of Biomedical and Natural Sciences. In today's learning module, we'll be touching some of the few topics related to transmission line. First is simply the introduction of the transmission line, the standing wave concept, voltage reflection coefficient, lossless transmission line, voltage standing wave ratio in transmission line. So starting with what is the transmission line? As the name itself suggests that the transmission line is a structure in which a transport of energy take place from one point to another. It is simply, if we see the different types of transmission line, one thing is common, that is the two conductors separated by some distance. Now another thing common is that you are applying the energy source at one end. So the energy source is applied between the two conductors, and on the other end of the transmission line you have the load. If you look at the coaxial cable, it consists of a solid conducting rod surrounded by the two conductors. Similarly, in the parallel wire also, you have the two conductors and you have applied source. In the microstrip also, you have applied a source. In unbalanced line, you have two types of lines, balanced and unbalanced. If the two conductors are symmetric around the ground, then it is a balanced line, otherwise it is an unbalanced line. Next, moving on to the standing wave in transmission line. The standing wave, if we see the standing wave, how these waves are produced. See, you have the generator at one side of the transmission line and at the other end you have the load. So if you have a generator that will be generating a voltage, energy in the form of voltage or either a current, as this is a transmission line, this is also having some transient effect. So the voltage and the currents here are in the wave nature. The generated wave from the voltage source at one end will be generating the forward propagating wave, means the incident wave. This is understood, but what about the backward wave, reflected wave? How this is generated? We are not having any source at the load end, so from where this backward wave is propagating? Forward wave we are getting that it is generated from the generator, but what about the backward wave? Now this backward wave is simply, you know that according to the maximum power transfer theorem, in order to have the maximum power transfer from one point to another, your load impedance must be equal to the source impedance or the characteristic impedance in the case of the transmission line. So in this case, it is not perfectly matched. Precise matching of the transmission line to termination is not practically possible. So whenever there is a significant mismatch exists, a standing wave is formed. A standing wave is simply the superposition of both the backward wave and the forward wave. So the main reason of standing wave production in the transmission line is due to the mismatching of the load impedance and the characteristic impedance. The generated wave, due to the superposition of the two waves traveling in the opposite direction, results in the generation of standing wave. Next, we are having the voltage reflection coefficient. Already studied that the source of the backward wave is not generator but load. Some energy is reflected back, whole of the energy is not drop across the load. Some part of the energy is reflected back. So the voltage reflection coefficient is simply the ratio of the reflection voltage at the load end to the incident voltage at the load end. So how much voltage you are getting reflected back to the ratio of incident voltage you are getting at the load side. So the non-zero value of the reflection coefficient will be telling us that there is some mismatching. Then only the reflection is taking place, because there is not a proper matching of the load impedance and the characteristic impedance. So the non-zero value will be telling us that there is some mismatching in between the two resistance value. If you look at the expression for the voltage coefficient, you have simply wave nature of voltage and the current. These are calculated at z equals to 0. This positive is showing the forward going wave and the negative going wave. This is a ratio of both the waves, forward and the incident and the reflected backward wave. At the load you have z equals to 0, so simply you are calculating ZL is V naught positive minus plus V naught negative by V naught positive. If you look at the transmission line, you have the load impedance ZL, across it the IL current, you have the generator voltage VG, you have ZG. If you look at the reflection coefficient, it is simply the reflected wave to the incident wave. Reflected wave we are taking V naught negative, whereas a incident wave is simply V naught positive. If you look at the ratio, we are getting ZL minus Z naught, ZL plus Z naught, we are getting, taking the common part, your ZL by Z naught will be simply the ZL minus Z1 and ZL plus Z1. So this is the reflection coefficient you are getting, the expression you are getting for the voltage reflection coefficient. Now moving on to the lossless transmission line. Before that, we should be understanding that how the transmission line can be represented. So this is the model of the transmission line. Earlier we were saying that the transmission line is simply the two parallel conductors. But since each conductor has some certain length and diameter also, so it will have some resistance and an inductance. Also, these two conductors are separated by some distance, so there will be some capacitance also. Now the reason for the conductance is that not the space between the two conductors is not a perfect dielectric material, so there will be some conductance. This conductance we are showing through G. R is the resistance, L is the inductance, C is the capacitance due to the distance between the two conductors. Now the wires are separated by the medium called dielectric, which cannot be a perfect dielectric, so you are having the conductance. Now these we are represented per unit length, we are representing, as the transmission line is of very much length, so you are taking per unit length the resistance value, inductance value, capacitance value and the conductance value. If we look at the lossless, we are not getting any losses, means we are thinking that the two conductors are perfectly conducting. So the resistance and the dielectric between the two conductors, we are assuming that these are the perfect dielectric material in between the two conductors, and the conductors are also perfect. So the two losses R and G in case of lossless transmission line are 0. Next is the voltage standing wave ratio. Earlier we have seen that there are backward wave, incident wave, and due to the superimposition of both these rays or waves, there is a generation of the standing wave. So standing wave is simply the vector sum of the transmitted and the reflected wave. The diagram here shows the wave nature of the voltage, and the blue color shows the signal from the transceiver, that is the incident signal. The signal green is the reflected from the antenna, as there is a mismatching between the impedances, so the signal will be reflected from the antenna. Now due to these two waves, there will be some standing wave. This standing wave is simply the vector sum of the transmitted and the reflected waves. If you look at the standing wave ratio, is simply the ratio of the maximum voltage or current value to the minimum value of voltage and current. If you see that when the standing wave ratio is 1, the load is perfectly matched. If SWR standing wave ratio is 1, then ZL is equals to Z0. Here load impedance is equals to characteristic impedance. Whenever the load is reactive or the standing wave ratio is infinite, your load is reactive. Infinity means nothing will be absorbed by the load. Everything, every wave, the incident wave, whole of the incident wave is getting reflected back. So the SWR simply will tell us how far the mismatching is done. If it is infinite, then nothing is getting incident on a load. The load is not taking the energy, it is just reflecting back. So these are the topics we have studied in the transmission line. If you further want to take help, these are the references. These are the few books in the SlideShare website, SlideShare. So you can take help from this. Thank you, students.